Okay, so I've got John Casson here. Casson?
Casson.
Casson. All right, we'll go ahead and make sure we edit this.
Yeah.
Casson from about 150 miles. John is a UK expat, has been in Thailand about 150 miles outside of Bangkok, in more the rural area of Thailand. And John is using LinkedIn for, he does profiles. He's a writer by trade. And so first of all, I just wanted to say hi, John, and welcome, and thank you so much. Yeah, really, really great to connect with you. And I really appreciate you sharing, John, just to kind of give everybody a little bit of history. John, we just had been kind of emailing back and forth, and John was sharing what he was doing with me, and what the stuff that he's doing, how he's got a business, a little side hustle, if you want to call it that, but he's earning income. He's a writer by trade, doing it all online because, again, he's the kind of in rural Thailand. And I thought it would just be great for those that wanted to hear kind of how he's doing it out in the middle of rural Thailand. And part of it is, connections that he has, part of it's from LinkedIn. So John, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, kind of you retired from the UK to Thailand, took a long vacation, and then you decided, there's too much fun is not good for anybody, right? So you got to kind of make yourself productive. So let's talk about, kind of that and how you got into, the online world and, how it evolved to LinkedIn and all that stuff.
Okay. Well, as you say, I retired from the UK. I was a financial advisor in the UK, and I retired in my early 50s. I'm married to a Japanese lady, so the compromise was I didn't want to live in Japan. She didn't want to live in the UK. So we thought Thailand's somewhere in the middle, really. So we came to Thailand, and we just came here maybe for a short time, we said, but we've been here now nearly 15 years. So we quite like the place. And as you said, I went a bit crazy, and we both did. I had a sort of 7-year holiday, basically, from the early 50s till, and it was when I hit 60, it occurred to me that whilst it was very, very pleasant traveling and going to parties and etc., that as you said, perhaps it's not the best lifestyle long term. So I actually before that. I've got a number of contacts. I've worked in this part of the world, quite a lot since '95. When I came to Thailand, I recontacted some people, and they used to say to me, I honestly can't remember. Well, I can roughly remember how I got into this. I'm not a writer by trade, by any means. I've always enjoyed writing and reading books, stuff like that. But I'm not a writer, as it were, by any stretch of the definition. But certainly a friend of mine, sometime I would guess maybe when I was 57, 58, asked me to, he's got quite a big business here in Southeast Asia, and asked me to do some of his websites, just the content. So I did 5 or 6 of his websites and quite enjoyed that, really, and the money was rather pleasant as well. So I thought, wow, this is good. And as I met more, people and friends, used to often say to me, "What on earth do you do with your time, John?" And I should say, "Well, we go to lots of places and we have lots of fun." And I said, "I also do a bit of writing as well." "Oh, do you? Wow, what do you do?" And I said, "Oh, I've done these websites." So it's it escalated from there. The other thing was in my business in the UK, I used to do seminars as a marketing exercise. I did seminars right from the early 1980s until I retired in the early 2000s. And they were very successful. I used to target certain professions, and they were enjoyable and successful, which was great. And when I came here, I did go to 1 or 2, presentations in Singapore and Bangkok, etc. And the standard was absolutely abysmal. Sometimes embarrassingly so, really, that someone was getting up in front of an audience of 500 and more and making such a mess of it. Awful stuff. And 1 or 2 of the guys I knew, I used to give a bit of advice to, and that worked into consultancy, and I started doing a bit of speech writing, which then developed into, I decided to make my own website. and I bought a website called writerjohn.com. So if anyone wants to have a look at that, please give me a month. I'm busy revamping the whole thing because it's over 3 years. It's now, it's not looking good, put it that way. It's looking jaded. So, and I didn't get into LinkedIn. Well, I did get into LinkedIn, I think about the time, say I crossed 60, five, 6 years ago.
Yeah, you said a couple years ago or something.
Yeah, I joined LinkedIn and I did nothing with it, really. And it wasn't until, to build Glory up a little bit, that I came across one of your courses about 2 years ago, I think. And that alerted me that, hold on, this LinkedIn thing, there might be more to it than what I'm, than how I'm using it. And from there, I did a few profile writing for friends, and it wasn't difficult, really. The friends, I looked at their profiles, and likewise, similar to the seminars, I thought, wow, this is awful. So and once again, I was charging for this as well. I started off doing the consultancy stuff for seminars pro bono, but I started charging for it, which was even better. And the Writer John website sort of consolidated that. And I'm not making massive amounts of money. I only put 20 to 25 hours a week. And I say jokingly, it's to keep me out of the bars. Basically, that's the alternative. So it creates some money.
I think it's pub, right?
The pub, yeah, the pub, yeah,
right.
Yeah. So anyway, it gives me a more healthy lifestyle, and it keeps my brain occupied.
Yeah.
And I'm your email about your new website, Blink Sherpa, came at the right time because I decided to take June off to reassess really where I'm going with this. That I feel at the moment I'm drifting a little bit, and I need a bit of a focus, and as to what I want to do and get from this. I mentioned to you, I think I can do this much smarter than I am now.
Yeah, we talked about that, and and I realized that with our other business, and I just wanted to go ahead for those of you that actually do watch this. If you hear kind of a couple of key points that John had mentioned, and I really wanted to talk, to say, look, John is, he's in the middle of a foreign, country, even though he's been living there for a long time. So it's completely different than, say, living here where, there's probably expat community and everything, but, so if John could do it, in the middle, 150 miles in a rural village in Thailand, then I'm hoping that this kind of gives you hope. And a couple of key points is that, John kind of took some of his skill set that he had learned, and then he applied it. He networked, in person. He started networking in Thailand and just, getting in recontact with people that he knew from several years back. And then from there, through networking, it kind of helped blossom into, business where they were paid gigs. And then, from there, he got more, he was introduced to LinkedIn, then he got more into LinkedIn to see, there's something about LinkedIn to actually turn that into a business. So now John's world is expanded. It's not just Thailand, Singapore, that type of thing. Now it's anybody and everybody, whoever his target market is on LinkedIn. And so we were talking because John is a really developed, he showed this to me, a fantastic guide. I think it's about 30 pages or something, isn't it? It's like an ebook on the, spiffing up your profile. It's very good. And that you're going to be doing like a 30-minute course and, possibly using that as a lead magnet. Because, what I found with my other business that I have with my business partner, Mike, is that, we have about 13 salespeople, and they all are using LinkedIn to generate leads. And so what we've been doing with that business is they put them in a CRM, and then they do their follow-ups and, with the sales process and all that type of stuff. And so really, I kind of felt like I was giving like half the story. Like LinkedIn is half the story. The other half of the story is build up your contact list, your prospect list of about 1,000 people. You can get them all off of LinkedIn. And if you do that, you're going to get enough business off of that prospect list, in addition to the new people that are going to be filtering in and connecting with you and wanting to do business with you, all that stuff. So, that is how you can build yourself into a recurring income. Because what happens, and you probably can relate to this, even with the 20 to 25 hours a week, business people, we kind of get into a situation where I call it the feast-famine syndrome, where you're working, because you're building the website, you're writing the content, you're doing the work. And then usually when you're so busy doing that, you don't have a lot of time to go out and network and, talk to people and do proposals and stuff like that. And so I really believe that if you automate that, and that's why we go like, man, it's, now I've got all these people that I sold. Now I got to get busy working and doing, doing their website, doing their profile, doing this. But if you could build that list and let the marketing automation, get response, whatever it is. I'm talking, autoresponder. Really what you want is marketing automation type of software. You can get it for, $20 a month or whatever. Let that do a lot of the relationship building for you, so that they can automatically book in appointments and stuff like that, so that you're while you're doing the work, you've got appointments booking. You know what I'm saying? You've got the leads generating, the appointments generating, so it's a more consistent income flow, basically. Yeah.
That really is what I want to aim for, because my income for the last, say, 5 years or so, it's been really, it's been like waves, really.
That's exactly what happens, is it goes up and down, because you get this influx of work, and then while you get the influx of work, you're too busy to actually continually to generate leads and prospect to try to find the next group of work that you really need just about the time the work that you're doing is done. So I think that would probably be a really good a good thing to shoot for, since you've got these fantastic marketing collateral in that. I mean, it is an ebook. I mean, it's fantastic. I was blown away when I saw it. That's why I was like, I've got to get him and on Zoom, and we can kind of talk about this stuff. So do please visit writerjohn.com and see, and visit, and what's your LinkedIn profile? Just search John.
John is John R. Casson.
Casson. Okay, John R. Casson. Okay, LinkedIn.com.
I'll send you the links, Gloria.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Because I'll include them whenever I send this email out. So. Yeah, okay. So this is great. So John, obviously, man, if you ever have any questions, always, feel free to email me. I try to be as available as I can, to be as helpful as I can. Like I said, I'm very blessed that, we worked really hard for a lot of years to build our software company to a point where it's kind of like, it's grown up, and I don't have to be the day-to-day. We've got Mike is the CEO. He's doing a great job. We've got technical support people, salespeople, finance manager, all that stuff. So it's like, I want to do this now, so I'm here to help, basically. So really feel free to, if you have any questions, just ping me over a question or something like that. Send me over your LinkedIn profile. And I want to encourage you, to really, because of your fantastic marketing collateral, and because of what you have been able to do, literally just by getting a course and figuring out and working it out and stuff like that, is to try to work towards building that list, so that you will have that constant steady stream and stuff like that. I think that's probably the best advice I could give you, is you're doing everything right. But you just need that one little component, is whenever you're making those contacts in LinkedIn and stuff like that, just, what I do is in my emails, and we've done this because, we, for Connect Dingo, we had this video, like a webinar replay or something. And I had it on my profile. I'm going to change my profile to reflect more linked Sherpa. And then, I think in the Siggy, the signature, when I would do message, is I would put that, and we were able, we got literally thousands of people to opt in and watch that video over the course of about 2 years. I think over the course of a year, excuse me. I think it was like about 35 or 4,000 people basically. So it's really, it's not going to be hard to build your list off of LinkedIn. You've got 6,000 connections. I think it'll probably take you anywhere from, and that's again sending like 30 messages per day, including, your, check out my free, I would call you call it a report. I call it an ebook. I call it like a blueprint guide or something to how to spiff up your profile. I mean, it's very comprehensive. I would say that I would just put that in, in your signature. And then if people want it, they opt in, they have to trade their email for it. They can download it. And then boom, they go into, like a get response type of thing. I'm a big proponent, because I don't like to be very technical. So I like Active Campaign. It's, I think, as cheaper than Get Response, and it's much easier and much more robust, So I like put them in I have them automatically go on my Active Campaign, and then, they go through the different sequences of, whatever, if I want to promote appointments or whatever, that's where they'll go. So that's what I would really encourage you to do. And check back on my website, because I do, and this is for, for everybody watching, not a shameless plug, but I've created some downloadable flow charts.
Oh yeah, I forgot those.
Very
good.
Marketing funnels and stuff like that of, how, and you can just kind of recreate it inside of, your automation software. So it should be up tomorrow, I think. So, and it's free to download basically. So yeah, I really appreciate your time, John. And, if you were to give somebody encouragement, some of the people that are watching this thinking like, I buy so many courses, I try so many things, I tried Facebook and YouTube videos and this and that and this and that, and nothing seems to be working. Is there any type of, kind of advice you could give someone?
Well, just what you said about courses. I mean, yes, I would say I've almost been a professional course buyer.
A lot of us, yeah.
A good number of them really have been no good whatsoever, but really in the amongst them, and without no BS, I mean, yours I think was some of the best really.
And
this is what certainly steered me, and there was almost a eureka moment when I decided that this LinkedIn thing was really worth investigating. And I didn't start working. I think I opened a new profile on LinkedIn. I had an original one, so I opened a new profile in May of, just 2 years ago. And I started really with zero contacted, friends, etc. Quickly went to 50 and became an all-star and blah, blah, blah. And I think within 6 weeks I crossed 500.
Yes.
And that now, I'm not really putting any effort into LinkedIn at all, which is what I realize is a mistake. If I was actively marketing myself on LinkedIn, but currently I'm attracting about 100 people per week are writing to me to contact it. So my list is just expanding naturally without me even trying.
Yes.
And I've got something, the last 90 days, I've had 250 people nearly who viewed my profile. Now that's 1,000 per year. This is without me doing anything at all. So my thought was, John, if you actually do something, if you actually start approaching people, and this 1,000 becomes 2,000, and if 10% of those become clients,
that's
wow.
Right.
So this is what really has struck me last month, and I thought, okay, I need to stand back from this and decide how I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, you can kindly pass on my writerjohn.com website. I've also got another website, speakeasy.com, which is a new website I've developed.
Really great.
These are all newish ones, and Writer John is in the process of being revamped. Mm-hmm. And the problem is when you're doing everything yourself, it's the wave principle. You know, you start doing your website, and because you're doing your website and other things, you know, you're not marketing, you're not doing any business, and you realize next month there's no income coming in. And so, yes, in a nutshell, I would say, as far as LinkedIn's concerned, just be consistent. If you're starting off with LinkedIn, get it over 500 initially, get it up to 1,000. I think the starting point to make LinkedIn work, I would say, is 1,000 plus, which sounds a lot. I thought that was ridiculous. I thought this is going to take me, you know, forever to get to 1,000. But it's absolutely astonishing how quickly it snowballs, really.
Yeah, it does. It happens very, very fast. You're right. We had a sales rep. He was good at other sales, and we brought him on, you know, and he's like, well, I really don't even have a LinkedIn profile. And he got up to that 500 connections. It took him like 3 weeks or something like that. But you're right. There comes a point, and it is about 1,000, 1,500 connections, anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 connections, first level connections, where it kind of takes on a life of its own. Where people are looking at your profile. You know, you mentioned that some websites don't get 200 profile views in, you know, 90 days or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if you just did a little bit of activity, that would probably double or triple easy. Just, you know, just minimal activity, because people are going to be looking at your site. Who's this John guy? You know, I need to check him out. You know, if you answered people that said happy work anniversary, or you wished them a happy anniversary, they're going to go to your profile, you know, all that type of stuff. So yeah, this is great. So LinkedIn, of course, I'm a big proponent of LinkedIn. So I'm with you that LinkedIn is probably one of the easier platforms that you can get on and start making something happen without, you know, kind of racking your brain and stuff like that. So. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We went over time. I'm so sorry.
You're very welcome. Don't worry, because I know it's what time is it? It's 7:40 a.m. here. And I think
so it's a 12 hours difference. I'm in Central, so it's 7:40 p.m. here. So
all right. Okay.
Well, listen, I really appreciate it, John. Any questions, then, you know, obviously, reach out to me, no problem. And then thank you so much. I think this is, you know, going to give people some hope. And maybe they're going to say, you know, if John can do it, I can do it too, you know. So
of course I can. And hopefully I give some inspiration. As I say, I don't class myself as a superstar by any means. I sort of don't want to, you know, spend 40 or 60 hours a week, you know, doing this. You know, it's purely, as you say, I think you said it's a side hustle, or if that's the term now.
But the beauty is that you know, here you're not having to put 40, 60 hours a week, and you're getting, you know, you're actually getting business from it. When you do put in the time and effort, you know, it's paying back basically. So I think that's a great take-home message too. So everybody, yes, check out. We'll go ahead, send me the link, and I'll include it in the email and stuff like that. And this will be on my Link Sherpa's brand new YouTube channel. We'll probably get it rendered and stuff, and I'll get it out pretty quickly. So thank you, John, so much. I appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. And I'll say to everyone listening, really check out your new website, really. There's a free advert for you, Gloria.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, take care. Have a great day.
You too, Gloria. Okay.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All the best. Bye now. Bye-bye.